Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today I would like to talk about the year of 2024, the economy of Scotland, how it's gonna go. So first of all, the death card in this spread means that before the year of 2024, there was an absolute ending, and it was a huge ending for Scotland. I think it might be related to Brexit, and there were many things in the economy that were coming to an end, and it was transformative for the region. And the good thing is for the death card, it brings, yes, it brings devastation, endings, but also it brings necessary changes and transformation. Because the death card is related to the sign Scorpio, and it is about the phoenix rising from the ashes. Currently, the devil card means there are restrictions and manipulations. As you can see, the devil card, one bigger, yeah, you can say it's a devil or deity or whatever, but it doesn't matter. In this case, it's just because the power dynamics. It doesn't matter it's devil or evil or whatever. Because even though when we look at the devil card, it's very negative, right? But the devil card can actually mean something very creative. It really depends on how you perceive it because everything has good and bad. Even though the situation is very restrictive, but if people are creative enough, they are able to transform these kind of limitations into prosperities and also opportunities. In this case, I think there is one entity or authority, authoritative power that is larger than the other two. I'm not sure whether this is about England or Scotland or Wales, but I feel like because the geographically, Scotland, England, and Wales they are connected to each other geographically. I would say Northern Ireland is kind of um, not in this picture somehow, um, but you get the gist because geographically it just resonates, right? But it doesn't mean it doesn't show. Well, at least I cannot tell who's the bigger one because I don't have the um, economic knowledge about the region. I only know they're geographically connected to each other and probably someone who's making decisions for the other two. But I think you get it. You know what I'm talking about, right? So Five of Swords crossing it. It means there's one person or one party that is maybe not party, but there's one thing that looks like they are winning the battle, but they are winning the battle at the same time losing the battle because the victory is not glorious. It's not a glorious victory. It's not a victory that is being respected. It's just because someone who is being authoritative, someone who doesn't want to give up, and they don't freaking care the other people who, maybe not people, but um, just arrogant and ignorant. This can go both ways. So the Five of Swords card can actually be a very good card for contemplation about where the toxic energy and dynamics coming from. Um, it does not necessarily mean that it's coming from one single side. It can also be related to how all sides are interacting with each other. It is an energy that is not cooperative with each other, um, and it can make or break things, right? If a person or if a place does not want to cooperate with the others because of their values or whatever, then they have to create new circumstances that can benefit themselves, so they don't need to rely on the other sources or the other partnerships, right? um, so this is possible for Scotland. um, I feel like there's a tendency to, rely on themselves to seek the way out, because the Hermit card above the spread, it means introspection and also being wise. So being wise, the Hermit card is actually above the energy of the devil, above the energy of the Five of Swords and the death, um, because the hermit is an old person. They actually experienced a lot of things, and they have the wisdom to move forward. So this explains that this is a period of time where Scotland itself is trying to figure out the economy by looking back at the history. So even though on the surface it looks like it's kind of turbulent and it's just a lost battle of some sort, but they are actually being very contemplative. Like they are looking back um, and trying to figure out how to trace the history. Um, so I think this is a really good thing, because from the outside perspectives, Scotland might be in a situation where things are looking not really good, and but internally there is a huge transformation that is happening, and I think there are a lot of wise people who are trying to figure out the direction of the economy, and even though there are hardships and there are things that are not looking positive right now, they have the knowledge, and somehow I think they're gonna get through it. Five of Wands at the bottom, it means conflicts, and there are a lot of people who are just caring about themselves, about their own welfare. So even though people trying to be wise about the economy, but um, there is also a type of arrogance among different groups of people, because they feel like they have to consider themselves first. Um, and their own perspectives are very important for them to actually express to each other. So I feel like it's gonna be a lot of conversations, even conflicts of opinions in the society about the economy. Um, Perhaps the things that happened before or still happening, it's really cutting into the heart of many people in Scotland, not only limited to one particular group, but multiple groups of people. So everybody wants something to be done, everybody wants something to be healed, and to improve the things. So on the bright side, it shows the vitality of the society in communicating with each other in regards to the solutions for the economy. But the downside is if these kind of energies surpass the harmony among people, it can just simply mean conflicts, which is the downside. So I believe that to be creatively using this energy to advance the economy is about open conversation and also to respect and understand that everybody is undergoing hardship right now, and um, not to just want to um, express personal opinions, because knowing that everybody is going on, I mean, has something going on, that is difficult. It is very important when the Five of Wands energy is happening. Um, so I think it's gonna be okay because the people in Scotland, they are very wise. Even though they do feel conflicting towards each other's ideas sometimes, but they deep down they have the wise knowledge about the fact that everybody has their own circumstances, and it is a time that needs patience and needs wisdom to get through it. So Five of Pentacles at the future position, it means um, things are not easy. There is a kind of lack of probably motivations and energies in the economy. And I have to stress that Five of Pentacles, as you can see in the picture, it is knowing. Um, and I wonder if some people who are less fortunate, or actually the poor people, poor population in the society, they will feel like the impact, especially when the winter comes. So I hope the energy crisis will be de-escalated even further, and hopefully everybody's gonna get the heat they need and the energy they need. Because Five of Pentacles, sometimes it can signal some issues in during the winter. But in general, I think it is just um, representing a lack. Um, it is a time to help each other. Five of Pentacles is also about supportive friends. So even though one is disabled, but they actually have another person who is walking with them. So it's not like they are all alone by themselves. Seven of Wands means defending their position. So I believe that the people of Scotland, they would like to defend their position, especially in the economic policies. Um, they feel strongly about defending their own position. And then the Magician, after the seven of Wands, it can actually tells us that um, the people in Scotland, they're trying to be very creative, even though the situation doesn't look good, but they're trying their best to make something out of nothing. Maybe starting something from scratch, and sometimes maybe there are some loopholes, or maybe um, some things maybe the others would feel like, well, it's kind of tricky, but somehow it works. Because magician sometimes can be kind of trickster energy, but I mean, by saying trickster energy, I don't mean it's always bad or good. It can be neutral. It just means that people have to figure out ways to maneuver the situation so they can actually survive. So I don't know, maybe it is about the trades, maybe it is about the borders. They're just gonna find out a way or multiple ways that can surpass some of the limitations that they're experiencing. Um, it's there's a word for it. It's magical. Something magical can happen because of the intelligence of the Scotland people. The Page of Cups after Magician. It is about good news. Page of Cups can sometimes mean love in general, but when we're talking about economy, you can see there is a fish in a cup, and you can see the ocean behind this little guy. So I believe that the fishing industry will have a relatively huge impact in the economy of Scotland. Um, and also, I think probably maybe the alcohol business, the beer, um, the drinking, um, yeah. But also, Page of Cups can be younger people, the kids. So maybe the economy actually is pointing towards more birth rate to increase the birth rate. But I do feel like there are limitations though because of the resources and I think the social situation. Maybe there is a tendency and knowledge to increase birth rates, but I don't feel like people are really into it right now, even though they have the intention and they acknowledge the need for more um, babies for the future development of the um, you know of the economy. But I don't think it's gonna manifest immediately, but they are aware of it. So Six of Cups at the end of this spread, it is about assistance, help. I believe that help is coming, and the Six of Cups is also about someone being generous. Um, and somehow I think Six of Cups can also mean um, the Scottish people, they're gonna be very focused on the community. Like within the community, people trade with each other and, you know, being kind to each other. So, but at the same time, I think the economy itself, uh, it will still need to tackle the lack, but then there will be assistance coming through. Um, but I don't think the Scottish people will feel okay about the situation. It's not gonna be that soon. It's gonna take some time. Okay, it's gonna take. Um, it takes patience to get through this period of time. Um, and in general, I feel like this is a period of time, at least for this year. It is necessary for Scotland to be not be self-defeating and not to be like feels like things are not working in their favor and then that's it. No, it's more than that because sometimes losing a battle is just a process of gaining the victory. So I would say don't give up. Whatever things that you guys are doing, don't give up. In especially for the economy, strive for a better future. Because I do believe that through creativity and some kind of peaceful arrangement, there will be improvement. But I have to also stress that even though there will be peaceful arrangement in the coming future, I don't think it is auspicious to overly expect the help and assistance from the other places. Because the magician energy is about it is about someone or something that creates by itself. So it's not too much about relying on the others, even though at the end there's the Six of Cups of giving. Um, I still think self-reliance is one of the key thing for Scotland, and I do believe that because the Scottish people will figure out something that can actually sounds really magical, and it will actually work in their favor, and at the end they will actually gain the support from, you know, a place with higher power or maybe more knowledge, and then they will feel like, okay, okay, I see your point, and we appreciate, we acknowledge that you actually did great in this situation. So we gonna um, negotiate something with you. But at the same time, it can be either way. Um, it can be either way because it can be Scotland helping another region also. So I'm not saying it's only uh, one particular side towards the other side. It can be both ways. Um, so I believe that when the Scottish people figure out the way, um, they would be also be generous enough to tell someone or the other place, whatever, um, to tell them, hey, we get it done. We get it done. We get through it, even though it's so difficult, but we figure out a way to, you know, to make things work on an economic level. So I do feel like there is a generosity that is coming up, and I see this as a very, very optimistic thing for the economy of Scotland. Um, Six of Cups can sometimes mean subsidies also. Maybe there are more subsidies coming toward the economy of Scotland. So even though it's not gonna offset all the problems, but it's gonna help somehow. So yeah, I believe that the Five of Swords energy, it actually also represents that it is a cautionary note that the positive side is because of losing a battle, they would like to rely more on themselves for solutions. But the downside can be, let's say, when some kind of help and assistance is available, they don't want to give the assistance, or they don't want to take the assistance. It sometimes it can manifest in particular ways like that. Um, so I think it depends on the timing, and it depends on whether the terms and conditions are actually viable for the Scottish people, so that, you know, each other's positions are being respected and reasonable. That is very important for the prosperity of Scotland and even, you know, the surrounding regions. So I hope this analysis can shine some light on the matters. And thank you for your time, and I appreciate your patience. And if you like this video, please consider giving it a like If you like the content, please consider subscribing. And thank you again, and I'll see you next time. Take care.